Mustards. You've probably eaten them on sandwiches, tossed in salads, or sautéed as a tender green. But some of their wild cousins have quietly spread across North America, carpeting fields, crowding roadsides, and even slipping into forest. They're invasive, persistent, and surprisingly hard to ignore. Here's the good news, though. You can fight back with a fork. What makes a species invasive is often that it lacks natural predators in its new home. With nothing to slow it down, it spreads fast, outcompeting native plants and reshaping ecosystems. When we harvest these plants, we're not just eating, we're participating in a small act of ecological balance, turning a problem into nourishment. Let's check out some of the tastiest invasive mustard species you should probably be eating. You might not realize it, but the mustard family is one of the most successful plant families on the planet. They grow on every continent except Antarctica, thriving in temperate, subtropical, and even some tropical regions. Everywhere you look, along roadsides, in fields, and even under the forest canopy, invasive mustards are spreading, often faster than native plants can keep up. They're tenacious, opportunistic, and downright overwhelming. And at the center of it all is one of the most notorious. Originally from Europe, garlic mustard is a biennial plant that can carpet entire forest floors, pushing out delicate native wildflowers. It's most prevalent in the eastern U.S., the Midwest, and parts of the Pacific Northwest, thriving in shaded forest, along trails, and near streams. Its leaves are garlicky and pungent, slightly bitter, and packed with flavor. You can eat them raw in a salad or a pesto, cook them as hearty greens, and even use the roots as a horseradish substitute. Its seeds add a spicy kick to anything from dressings to condiments. You can also use the fresh leaves as a seasoning herb. Chop them into soups, stir-fries, or even roasted vegetables to add a subtle, garlicky note that brightens almost any dish. Eating garlic mustard doesn't just taste good, it's an act of ecological restoration. Every bite helps slow down one of the forest's most aggressive invaders. And if you find some growing near you, don't just keep it to yourself. Pull up enough to share with everyone you know. After all, abundance is meant to be enjoyed together. Black mustard is another powerhouse of the mustard family. Originally from Europe and the Mediterranean, it now grows across North America with a special stronghold in the West. Unlike garlic mustard creeping through forests, this one rises tall and golden. In California, whole hillsides can blaze with it, turning the landscape into seas of yellow. But behind this beauty is an aggressive invader. Black mustard grows fast, shades out other plants, and when it dries, it leaves behind dense fuel that makes wildfires burn hotter and spread faster. In a time when climate change is already driving more frequent and devastating fires, the plant adds even more fuel to the flames. Beyond its ecological impact, black mustard, like many mustard family plants, is surprisingly nutritious. The young leaves are packed with vitamin A, C, and K, along with minerals like calcium, iron, and magnesium. They're also rich in antioxidants and phytonutrients that support overall health. Even the seeds are a good source of protein and healthy oils, making them a flavorful and nourishing addition to your meals. Field mustard is a close cousin of the mustards we grow in our gardens. Originally from Europe, it followed colonizers across the continents and now pops up almost anywhere the soil is disturbed. Farm fields, roadsides, construction sites. It's quick to colonize bare ground, edging out native plants and spreading in great numbers. The good news is, it's delicious. Its flavor is very similar to cultivated mustard greens, bright and peppery. The young leaves and tender shoots can be cooked like other greens, and the yellow flowers add a splash of spice to salads. Even the seeds can be harvested and ground into sharp homemade mustard. Like its relatives, field mustard is relentless, but that persistence means there's always more than enough to share. And sharing isn't just about food, it's about creating a culture of abundance where everyone benefits. Have you tried eating any wild mustards? Drop a comment below and share your experience. We'd love to hear what you've discovered in the wild. Speaking of wild, wild radish is a tricky one. Botanically, it belongs to the mustard family, but most people don't think of it as a mustard. Instead, it's the wild cousin of the garden radish, and it's just as scrappy and invasive as the others in its clan. It's widely distributed across the U.S., especially in the western states, California, the Great Plains, and parts of the Midwest, thriving in fields and disturbed soils. Its leaves are spicy and a bit rough, its flowers range from white to pale purple, and its seed pods, sometimes called rat-tail radishes, are a real prize. These pods taste like mild radishes and can be eaten fresh, stir-fried, or pickled for a crunchy, tangy snack. It spreads quickly through fields and disturbed soils, often forming dense stands. But here again, abundance is on our side. Every pod you gathered is one less seed dropping back into the soil. Hedge mustard is another invasive member of the mustard family, often popping up along roadsides and field edges. It may not be as showy as a black mustard or as notorious as garlic mustard, but it has a long relationship with people. In European folk tradition, it was called the singer's plant, believed to soothe sore throats and strengthen the voice. Its flavor is bitter and mustardy, not the kind of green you'd eat by the bowlful, but the young shoots and leaves were once cooked as a pot herb, and the seeds can add a sharp note to food. Now, you know what else is growing wild? This channel. If you want more videos about edible invasives and foraging, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a harvest. Pennycress is a small but persistent invasive in the mustard family. Its name may not include mustard, but it carries that familiar, sharp, peppery bite. The flavor is strong, bitter, and unmistakably mustardy, so it's best enjoyed in small amounts. The young greens can be cooked or added sparingly to salads, while the seeds pack a spicy punch that can be used much like mustard seeds. Pennycress is most common in the northern U.S. and Midwest, but can be found in disturbed soils across much of the country, thriving in fields, roadsides, and open patches, quietly spreading wherever there's room to grow. Dame's rocket is an invasive member of the mustard family that often slips under the radar. With its purple, pink, or white blossoms, it's sometimes mistaken for native wildflowers, but it spreads aggressively in the northern and eastern U.S., commonly along roadsides, woodland edges, and open fields. The flowers are mildly sweet and edible as a garnish, while the young leaves can be eaten too, though they're more bitter and less tasty than many of the other invasives we've covered. Even the less famous members of the mustard family have something to offer, reminding us that every plant has a role and a flavor worth exploring. The mustard family is everywhere: fields, forests, roadsides, and gardens. Each of these invasive plants spreads through seeds, producing thousands of them every season. Every flower or seed you eat is one less way for these weeds to multiply. So harvesting them isn't just good eating, it's a small act of restoration. It takes something that threatens the ecosystem and turns it into nourishment, turning scarcity into abundance. And when you share what you gather or learn, you turn that abundance into community. In a country where many face uncertainty around food, these hardy plants are a reminder that nourishment can be shared, not hoarded. They aren't going anywhere, and learning to use them is a way to connect with the land, build resilience together, and cultivate abundance that no system can fence in. If you believe in sharing knowledge the same way we share food, help spread this video. Like it, share it, drop some knowledge in the comments, and subscribe. And until next time, eat the weeds.